You touched on something there when you said students will probably have time to do it this summer. And this kind of ties in with student profiles and overall how they make themselves stand out. So you combine kind of changes in testing with the fact that a lot of schools have gone pass fail, and so GPAs are going to look different. Students won't be doing the usual summer travel, internships, all of the things that they would have put on essentially their student resume. What about all of that? Do you think colleges are going to be understanding, even sympathetic about that, and look harder to try to really understand who a student was before the pandemic, or what
might have been without it? Yeah.
Might have been without it, what their trajectory was before it got interrupted, right?
Right.
Do you?
I think I think first of all, it's really important to remember that the people in these admissions offices are people too. You know, they have little brothers and sisters who are going through this process. This is what they do, and they already have years and years of experience in reading applications from kids who, even without COVID-19, for lots of reasons, weren't lucky enough to be able to do internships and go to, Oxford's summer program in England to do some extra class work. So they have always tried very hard to be fair about that. If a student is lucky enough to be able to go to Mozambique and work with Doctors Without Borders during the summer because the student's mom is a doctor and has some great connections, good for him or her. But colleges try very hard not to penalize other kids who don't have that exotic choice as a way to spend the summer. So it's really just going to be the same thing on a bigger scale. They're going to recognize that kids are, in many cases, stuck at home. They're going to recognize that kids they're not necessarily making the choice about whether they are able to be out and about. And they will be, I think, interested in hearing what kids have to say. And I think they're going to be reading lots of essays that have some connection or other to the COVID-19 pandemic. They will be interested to hear what kids have to say about ways they have found to do interesting things within the limited parameters in which they're operating. And really, that's always what they've done. Given your options, given the situation in which you found yourself, how have you taken advantage of what was available to you? Right.
You made a funny comment there. They're going to read a lot of essays about the pandemic. Would you advise students to find something else to write about when it comes time for their college essays?
It's fine to write, and I think it will be natural that many kids will write about topics that are related to the pandemic in some way or other. I don't think it's worth writing about the pandemic itself. I've had kids come into me with great essays about various natural disasters and man-made disasters and other kind of global issues, and they're great essays, but they're not what the colleges want to read because they don't really have anything to do with the student. I mean, right. And some of the kids look crestfallen and say, but I did so much work on this and I did all this research, and I say, well, that's great, but they're not asking for a research paper. When they ask for a student essay, they want something that's personal, that's about you, that gives them a better sense of who you are as a person. And your ability to do research is important, but they're going to be reassured about some of that capacity by reading your teacher recommendations and looking at your transcript.
Right.
So the essay is really a chance for you to talk about how you live in the world, how you interact with people, how you make choices about how to spend your time, what's important to you in a smaller personal sphere, and also on a bigger scale. But remember, the essay is a very short piece. It's 650 words maximum. I tell kids to shoot for 500, and if it runs over a little, that's great. Readers will appreciate not having to read every essay that's exactly 649 words. And so it doesn't have to be big or impressive at all. In fact, writing about your views on the likelihood of catastrophic climate change is not really helpful to them.
Right.
They're trying to get a sense of you as a potential member of their college communities, and to hear from you in a way that is not just about your academic
Right.
capacity.
Right.